guys. I'm from Mexico City. I'm an industrial engineer and I have 4 years of work experience in management consulting and technology startups. I'm 27 years old and I'm an aspiring MBA student. My GMAT journey started in 2020 when I was working in management consulting. I studied for about 3 months using another course that's not TTP at that point. I scored a 650 and then I was moved from one project to another, and my schedule kind of got too complicated for studying, so I completely left my studying at that point. Decided to restudy last year, 2023, and was looking for options for courses. And a friend of mine recommended TTP. He used TTP and achieved a really, really high score, so I was convinced of the course and decided to purchase it. I started about halfway, so about July 2023 with my studying. I studied for about 6 months in total. So my schedule looked like woke up 6:30 in the morning to study, studied from about 7 to 9 a.m., then worked all day, and on weekends I studied on Saturdays and Sundays for between 4 and 5 hours each day. So I studied for about 250 hours in total using TTP and including the mock test phase, which is really crucial. So definitely put in a lot of work and put in a lot of hours to the course, but it was definitely worth it at the end. On my first official retake for the GMAT Focus, I scored a 655 in February 2024 and then decided to do a retake 3 weeks later, and I achieved a score of 695, which is in the 98th percentile. So definitely really, really proud of that score and really, really happy of having chosen TTP as my course, because it definitely gave me all of the tools and all of the skills to achieve that high score. So I like TTP in particular because as a Mexican with not having English as my first language, I specifically struggled with the verbal section of the exam. I think this is a common thread for non-native English speakers, but TTP really helped me improve in critical reasoning, gave me the tools and the specific problem solving methodology to effectively tackle critical reasoning and reading comp questions, which was a great edge that I believe helped me in the test at the end of the day. And obviously quant and data as well, but specifically the verbal part for myself in particular. I think the difficulty of problems is much higher on the course than on the actual exam. So it almost feels like you've been training for a marathon and then the test is like a 10-kilometer race. So I really appreciated the difficulty of problems on TTP that I believe raised the bar and helped me be really prepared for test day. I also like the fact that the study plan is just so easy to follow. When you first join TTP, you put your target score, you put how many hours a day you're able to study, when you're intending to take the test, and just the study plan is just created on automatic for you. And I believe that's really, really helpful, not having to overthink what and when to study. So I would say just following the course is really, really a good value add of TTP. And I would say, as recommendations to test takers, I would say you have to definitely commit fully to doing the GMAT. I believe that the GMAT is an exam that rewards grit and determination more than actual brains. So putting in the 200 plus hours as I did is definitely something that I would recommend to any test taker. Fully commit, set yourself up for a schedule, and hold yourself accountable for achieving that. The course is really long, obviously, so I say rewarding yourself for achieving certain milestones is a good way to keep yourself motivated. So every time you reach 20%, 25%, 50% progress in the course, go out for dinner, go to a football game or whatever, or reward yourself for doing that milestone and keep yourself motivated. Set the bar as high as possible, I would say as well. Even though you may be comfortable with a 600 or a 650 or whatever, put the course at the highest difficulty level. That way you'll be challenged and set that bar as high as possible for yourself. And as I mentioned before, once you get to test day, the problems will feel as if they're much easier than what you've practiced before. Another recommendation I would say is do not do mock tests until you've covered all of the material. This is something that TTP really encourages, which I think is really obvious. If you haven't studied critical reasoning and you do a mock test, it's going to be really obvious that critical reasoning is something that you're going to have to work on. And the mock test will tell you that, which you already knew beforehand. So I think something that really worked for me by using TTP was doing all of the studying and practicing portion before diving deep into mock tests, and actually going back when you do the mock test to the course and practicing on those weak areas is something that definitely helps you to improve. And another recommendation that I would give GMAT students is to retake the test once you've reached your score deadline. I believe one thing that really helped me was retaking the test once I hit that 655. I came into the test with much less pressure and much less expectation on myself. And I really felt that I was much more concentrated on the problem in front of me, much more focused. And as an example, my heartbeat did not raise itself at any point during the exam. I was completely calm and collected. So, definitely something that I would recommend. So, in summary, I would say definitely do not drag your studying for 4 years as I did. Do it much more consistently and focused in a 6 month period. Use TTP because it really will help you to understand the material, practice, and improve. And at the end of the day, I would say grit and determination is the number one thing you should focus on. Hold yourself accountable and do as much studying as possible so that you can crush the exam on test day.